Welcome to Augmented Voices. We're the show that really digs into how generative AI is changing the game for businesses, especially, financial services, tech firms, and SMEs here in the UK.
Absolutely. And today we've got some, frankly, quite startling developments to talk about. AI isn't just theory anymore. It's getting woven into some really core areas.
Definitely. Let's start with the UAE. This is huge, right? They're looking to be the first country actually using AI to help draft and amend national laws.
Yeah, it's not just helping research law, but potentially shaping it. They've even set up a dedicated body, the Regulatory Intelligence Office, to manage this whole thing.
Wow, so a dedicated office, that signals serious intent. What's the kind of goal here? Just speed.
Speed is a big part of it, yeah. They're targeting, get this, a 70% increase in the speed of lawmaking.
70%. How?
So the idea is the AI crunches through mountains of legal documents, court rulings, public data, basically everything,
Yeah.
to spot where changes are needed proactively.
Proactively. Okay, so it's not just waiting for a problem to show up.
Exactly. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum actually said it'll make the process faster and more precise.
Yeah.
And, you see Abu Dhabi making these huge AI investments too, like backing BlackRock's fund. It all fits together.
Right, it's a whole strategy. So the AI looks at existing laws, sees how they're working or not working from the data, and then says, hey, maybe tweak this bit.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
In Sheikh Mohammed's words, the AI would regularly suggest updates to our legislation. That predictive element, suggesting changes before they become critical issues, that's the really novel part compared to how other governments might be using AI, which is often more limited, maybe for analysis.
Okay, so what are the experts saying? Is this universally seen as a good thing?
Well, it's mixed, as you'd expect. Some see huge potential, calling AI a co-legislator almost.
Yeah.
People like Roni Medalia.
Co-legislator. That's quite a term.
It is. But others raise red flags. Vincent Straub points to reliability issues, AI hallucinations, basically making things up. You wouldn't want that in law, would you?
Definitely not.
Hmm.
Any other concerns?
Yeah, Keegan McBride suggests autocratic systems might adopt this faster, maybe without the same checks and balances. And Marina DeVos warns that AI might create policies that are logically sound based on the data, but maybe harmful or unethical in the real world.
Logical but harmful. That's a scary thought. So bringing this back home, what's the message here for, say, UK financial services or SMEs? Is this a wake-up call?
I think it absolutely is. If another country is basically turbocharging its regulatory engine with AI, UK firms need to think about their own AI readiness. How quickly can they understand and adapt if regulations start changing faster, potentially shaped by algorithms?
Right. So for a bank, maybe it means what? Testing their systems, training people differently?
All of the above. Stress testing their ability to cope with rapid change, investing in legal tech that might help interpret these AI-driven shifts, rethinking what skills their compliance teams need, even getting executives comfortable interpreting AI logic.
And for smaller businesses, the SMEs, is it different for them?
Potentially. On one hand, maybe AI-driven regulation could become clearer, easier to access. That's the hope.
Okay, that's the upside.
But the downside is keeping up. Rapid changes can hit SMEs harder. They need that strategic resilience, maybe keeping a closer eye on these global shifts. So things like scenario planning for AI-led rules, upskilling their legal and ops people, maybe pressure testing their compliance setups become really important.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's shift gears a bit from lawmaking to filmmaking, the Oscars.
Yeah, quite a leap, but equally fascinating. The Academy, the folks behind the Oscars have said it's okay now to use AI-generated content
Yeah.
in films that are eligible for awards.
Really, so AI can win an Oscar?
No, not quite. That's the crucial part. AI can be used maybe for visual effects, cleaning up dialogue, even voice synthesis, but it has to be under clear human supervision. The AI itself can't get nominated or credited. Human creativity has to be the driving force.
Okay, so it's a tool, but with strict boundaries. What prompted this? Was there a specific film or something?
There were a couple of examples that stirred the pot, apparently. AI used for accent work in a film called The Brutalist, and voice cloning in another, Amelia Perez.
Yeah.
It sparked debate about, authenticity and where the human creativity stops and the AI starts.
Right, and the Academy's response is basically, okay, AI is here, let's set some ground rules.
Exactly. The Academy CEO, Bill Kramer, basically said AI has been used behind the scenes for years in different ways. This is just making it more explicit. It encourages transparency. Filmmakers should disclose AI use, and it sort of signals AI has a place, but within limits.
So it's tech-augmented creativity, not tech-authored creativity.
Precisely. It's setting a precedent, really, for a very human-centric industry, a kind of middle ground.
What's the takeaway here for businesses outside of Hollywood? Does this Oscars rule matter for like a UK tech firm or an SME?
I think it absolutely does. If an industry built on human expression is formally saying AI can be a partner under human direction, then the old idea of AI is just another tool like a spreadsheet feels, well, outdated.
It's more like co-authorship now.
Yeah, potentially. It highlights that having clear human oversight isn't just good practice. It's becoming a competitive advantage. Businesses probably need formal policies on how they use AI, who's accountable. Leadership needs to own that narrative.
And does it change how businesses should think about using AI creatively themselves, like for marketing or internal stuff?
I think so. It almost makes creative AI use less optional, doesn't it? For telling your story, internal comms, investor relations, even customer onboarding. And it suggests regulation might follow culture. If the Oscars require disclosure, maybe UK financial bodies will start asking for stricter AI disclosure too.
So businesses should get ahead of that, maybe define their own ethical use cases now.
Definitely proactive policy shaping seems wise. Which brings us nicely to our third piece of news, actually.
Yeah.
Something pretty disruptive on the tech front itself.
Okay, what have you got?
This is about voice AI, a new open-source text-to-speech model called Dia. And the amazing thing is it was built by 2 South Korean undergraduates with basically no funding.
No funding, just 2 students, and it's good.
Apparently, it rivals the big commercial players, like 11 Labs. That's what the report suggests. These 2 guys, they founded Nari Labs. One was even doing mandatory military service at the time. They taught themselves speech AI in just a few months.
That's incredible. So much for needing massive R&D budgets.
Right. Their goal was apparently to match things like 11 Labs Studio, and, well, seems they kind of pulled it off. It's a 1.6 billion parameter model trained using Google's free cloud resources.
And what can it do? This Dia model.
The works, pretty much.
Yeah.
Emotional tone control, dialogue with multiple speakers, nonverbal sounds like coughs or laughs, and, crucially, voice cloning.
Voice cloning. Okay, that rings some alarm bells too.
Exactly.
Yep.
And because it's open source, available on Hugging Face and GitHub, runnable on a decent PC, the accessibility is amazing. But yeah, the ethical concerns are real. Minimal safeguards against misuse for deepfakes and stuff.
Have they addressed that, the creators?
They have a disclaimer basically saying they're not responsible for misuse, which is standard for open source, but yeah. There are also some questions about what data they trained it on, potential copyright issues maybe.
So amazing tech, democratized access, but ethical blind spots. What's the business insight here for the UK?
Well, first, it blows up the idea that only giants can innovate in AI. Technical barriers are falling. Your next competitor might be 2 students in a dorm room, you know.
So defensibility isn't just about tech anymore.
Less so, perhaps.
Huh.
It also removes excuses for not experimenting. Tools like this make AI voice accessible for client comms, training, onboarding accessibility features.
Okay, so opportunities for SMEs maybe to sound bigger or offer better service.
Definitely. Voice AI is becoming a new competitive front, enhance customer experience, scale up. But especially for financial services, that trust issue is paramount.
Because of the deepfake risk, brand impersonation.
Precisely. If anyone can clone a voice easily, the potential for fraud or misinformation in a high-trust sector is huge. So the message is, experiment, yes. Start small, scale fast with AI voice if it fits. But governance and human oversight are absolutely critical.
Got it. So embrace the tech, but build strong guardrails. And keep an eye on the open source world.
Absolutely. Places like Hugging Face are becoming really important innovation hubs. Stay close to it.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. We've covered a lot. UAE using AI in lawmaking.
Yeah, signaling faster, maybe algorithmically shaped regulation, big implications for business agility.
Then the Oscars setting rules for AI in film.
Highlighting that human-AI collaboration needs clear boundaries and transparency is key, a model for other sectors.
And finally, this Dia voice AI.
Showing how powerful AI tools are getting democratized, opening opportunities, but also raising serious ethical questions, especially around misuse.
So 3 really different stories, but all pointing to AI getting deeply integrated, faster than maybe we thought.
Definitely. The pace is undeniable, and access is widening. Which leads to maybe the final thought.
Go on.
As AI starts co-authoring laws, creative works, and powerful tools land in everyone's hands. How ready are UK businesses, really?
Yeah.
Are the strategic plans, their ethical frameworks, evolving fast enough not just to use this stuff, but to shape its use responsibly and actually thrive?
That's the big question, isn't it? Are we keeping pace? Something for everyone to think about. Thanks for joining us on Augmented Voices for this deep dive.
Thank you. Lots to consider.
Indeed. We hope you'll continue thinking about what these shifts mean for you and your business.